The word stalker comes from the animal kingdom, the way a leopard approaches a prey soundlessly and camouflaged in a forest and comes close enough before he does the final assault to kill the prey for food. But in human society, the stalker is a person who harasses someone with unwanted obsessive attention. Stalkers can be males or females. A stalker may use a variety of tactics, including unwanted phone calls, unwanted contact via social media, unwanted gifts, etc. In this episode, we will discuss stalkers with violent intentions and the possible measures to be taken. Let's consider the types of stalkers. Stalkers can be males or females. The causes may be different, but they can cause immense pain, stress, and suffering to the victim. Certain types have been identified. Number 1, the harmless kind. This type of stalker is one who doesn't want to physically harm the victim, but is obsessed and wants to marry or become a partner of the victim. After days of stalking, this person makes the final approach, and the request is made. If the victim says no firmly, then usually heartbroken, he or she will back away and go. Then there is the other kind of stalker who cannot accept no for an answer. She said no to me is in his mind, which causes anguish, and so as a reaction, he could go to dangerous methods of vengeance. Again, very dangerous, but identifiable. The third kind is a psycho predator, usually utterly ruthless, having no conscience and with a distorted mentality, very, very dangerous. The fourth type is a hired stalker. People in power might hire someone to stalk the victim for a particular motive. Again, very, very dangerous. Now, let's do an analysis of the stalker's movements on humans. A number of psychologists have interviewed criminals who have been stalkers and come up with certain ideas about the patterns of a stalker. Now, the pattern is like this. The first step, the stalker operates in an area. And the second step is stalker chooses a victim. Now, if there is prior history with the victim, the stalker might choose the victim first and then find out which area the victim operates under. Once the stalker has familiarized himself with the area of operation of this particular victim and has chosen the victim, and he will choose definitely a victim who is weaker than him. He's not going to choose a victim who appears stronger, bigger, or outspoken, or able to resist his attack. So after a victim is chosen, next step is he's going to observe the movements of the victim. Time it, record the timings. Like for example, a girl gets down from a bus at a particular stop and she walks about 50 meters to her home. The stalker would have recorded this movement and the stalker would have been in position at the bus stop to watch the girl and walk hidden behind her or across from the street to exactly get the timing of where she has walked to. Next, the stalker will try to match his footwork, synchronize himself with the victim. And the next step is the final attack. Now, the final attack of a stalker could be different ways. Generally, if you're talking about violent crimes, the final attacks could be a kidnap, an assault, physical assault, and rape. Or could be murder in extreme cases. Situational awareness and alertness is what she has to practice when the girl goes out. So it's important to identify the stalker in the first process before the stalker makes his final move. So being alert is most important. You know, some of the workshops I've been to, I've spoken to the girls, and some young girls, 5, 6 years old, I'm asked them, do you feel people's eyes on the back of your head? And 99% of them have said yes. They can feel the eyes on the back of their head for anybody watching them. Then I ask them, do you feel uncomfortable with some people watching you and then comfortable with other people watching you? They say yes. 5, 6-year-old girls can sense it. This is woman's instinct. This sense is a special gift women have. Some men also have it. Some sensitive men have it. But this is a special gift women should preserve and develop. If your sense tells you that somebody is looking at you and you're not instinctively feeling comfortable, then don't go there. Like for example, you're standing at a bus stand and a bus pulls up and you see a pair of eyes looking at you. One of the set of eyes makes you feel uncomfortable. You have to decide at that point whether to step in the bus or wait for the next bus. So be alert to this particular instinct. So what do you do about a stalker? You sense a stalker, you see a stalker. First thing is, don't keep quiet. Tell your people, tell your friends, tell your teachers, parents, even any other friends who are willing to help you in a major way. Get a team together to observe the stalker, stalk the stalker. Have your people in position, get them to record the stalker's movements. Everybody has camera phones today. Record his movements. Next one is, can you identify the stalker or not? After you got the photographs, you can show the photographs to your friends, people, or even the police. But you need to have evidence before you go to the authorities. Remember that. Next, I'm going to give you information on laws about stalking. Advocate Melissa Simoes was kind enough, and I'm grateful to her for giving us this information on camera. Please watch. This section is from a part of our film called Woman Against Stalking. Please watch.
Hello friends, this is Advocate Melissa Simoes. I represent my company called STP and Company. I've been told to speak about stalking and the legal ramifications of stalking, the punishment that involve the punishment when it comes to stalking. However, first let us get to what stalking is to begin with. Stalking, as per the Indian Penal Code, section 354D, states that when a person is being followed and there is disinterest showed by that person, it would amount to stalking. Any form of unsolicited advances. If a person follows you around to your school, to your home, it doesn't matter where, and if you feel harassed, that would amount to stalking. If you've not asked for it, that would amount to stalking. And these are serious matters. Now, why is it that we say that stalking is a very serious matter? Is because stalking is not merely following a person physically home or following the person and harassing the person when it's unsolicited in nature. However, even I'm sure a lot of y'all must be so used to going onto Facebook or Instagram or any of these social networking sites and simply going into profiles that y'all don't even know those persons when y'all go into profiles, which is fine. However, when that becomes an obsession and when there's an attempt to meet the person that you are stalking, for that matter, or you are viewing on Facebook, that would also amount to stalking. Asking for adding the person as friends, even if you don't know them, or even if you know them, harassing them, asking them to be friends with you, asking them to meet you, asking over the internet, and following the person's whereabouts via the internet, finding out where the person is via the internet. In this case, a small example could be on Facebook. If I've checked in and stated that I'm in Panjim, and my stalker comes to Panjim and follows me around and I feel harassed, that would also amount to stalking. Now, what does not constitute stalking? When we say, when a police officer or any officer appointed by the court or by the law or by the state to follow a person due to law and order situations or due to law and order, there could be an issue with law and order, or if that person is harmful to another person or to the state, then in these cases it would not amount to stalking. So there is a clear distinction between a person who has been appointed by the state, who is a person of law, who has been appointed by the law, and the general public. Does that mean a police officer is authorized or any person appointed by the state is authorized without permission to follow a person? Not at all. That would also amount to stalking, and that is something that a person needs to be very aware of. Now, what would in most of the cases, what people generally say is ignore the situation. It's not a big deal. However, Understand that if you're feeling so harassed and so suffocated, you feel so, and there has been so many such cases, and people tend to ignore it because, who wants to go through the hassles of police, who wants to go through the hassles of court cases. But understand that your life could be in danger, and understand that a potential stalker could turn into a murderer or a rapist, and that's something that none of us would want. Neither do I as a woman, and neither would y'all as a brother, sister, mother. So I do what would I recommend is to store evidence. Make sure, in the case of, for example, in the case of internet stalking, if they are stalking you on internet and they have sent you several messages, make sure that you do not delete them. Store them. You can produce them as evidence to the police. And trust me, the police will do their job beyond that. Now, stalking is punishable. It's punishable under Section 354D of the Indian Penal Code. It is punishable the first attempt of stalking, and there is a complaint. It is punishable with imprisonment, which could go up to 3 years, and with fine. The second attempt is the offense is punishable up to 5 years and with fine. So do not worry, the law is here to take care of you. And that's all that's all I would want to say. And stalkers, beware.
Now I'm going to give you an exercise to improve your awareness observation skills. This is an exercise I've done for many girls in schools. Now we have the conference hall where the workshop is being held. There's a stage. 5 girls volunteer as participants for this exercise, and they are taken out of the room and the doors closed, and from the hall where the rest of the girls are sitting, about 10 to 15 girls volunteer, and they're taken up on a stage where we place certain stools and chairs, and they're told to sit. Sometimes 10 girls or 12 girls or 15 girls, the number may vary. And they're told, some of you are going to look directly at this particular girl who comes in. Some of you are going to look somewhere else. Now, each girl who is a participant standing outside is brought in separately and her face covered with a cloth by another volunteer. As she comes in, she is allowed to look at the stage where those girls are in position, sitting or standing. She's sort of look at them, and she'll be given 3 seconds to look. After 3 seconds, the cloth is pulled up again. So she's given 3 seconds to observe what's on the stage, and then she's taken outside the hall. And there she's asked 3 questions. One is, how many girls did you see? 2 is, how many girls are looking at you directly onto your face? And a third question is, how many were sitting on stools and how many were standing? And mind you, in 3 seconds observation, she has to answer these 3 questions. So alertness has to be very acute to grasp whatever is happening around you. This isn't an exercise to promote that kind of ability. Now, spies in the early days, before the miniature camera streaming capabilities, satellite technology came, spies were trained in this kind of observation skills because their life depended in dangerous enemy territory. So this is one exercise we give the girls to acutely observe the environment, be aware, and improve their observation skills. Online stalking is another subject, but we'll touch it in a future episode. Stalker, the thing is, make sure you're aware of your environment, and the moment you suspect a stalker, you sense a stalker, don't keep quiet. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your teachers. Rule number 1. Make sure you set some kind of an observation team to observe and record his activities. The stalker could be dangerous, or he could be a harmless kind of a person. But be aware of the stalker and do not ignore a suspected stalker, because stalkers might have other plans which may be going on to the next step, which is the final assault, where the real danger lies. Okay? I hope this helps you. I hope you can practice this exercise, and I hope I can help you more. Our workshops are called PAPA's Initiative. PAPA's is an acronym for Prevention, Attitude, Preparation, anticipation strategies. Papas also means a fatherly concern for the girls. And our workshops are conducted in Goa, and we've covered many different schools and organizations to help women be safe.